event tourism is one of the most sought after and fastest growing aspect of the tourism industry. And today we are going to discuss the world's largest world's largest viewed event, and its impact on the host of the event, that is the FIFA 18 World Cup and Russia. Now, as I mentioned, event tourism is the most fastest growing segment of the tourism industry, and all these FIFA World Cups are one of the most FIFA World Cups, Olympics, all these major international events are one of the most sought after events that are there for numerous reasons, in which countries hope to boost their economic situations and the quality of life of its people. Our today's topic will actually go through all of that, and we will actually figure out whether are these events good for the economy in reality, or is it just a very optimistic hope that these countries have with which they make these kind of investments. I have here with me Rahul, who's also of the Money Roller team, and we are going to discuss about that.
Yes,
So,
yes, guys. So, Football World Cup. So, Football World Cup is so strong that in these days, even girls like to watch football. It's so strong, correct? It is so strong that nowadays in India, almost nobody is talking about our T20 matches. Almost nobody. I'm not saying that everyone, correct? But Belgium is overpowering our T20 matches, correct? It is so. This is Football World Cup for you. Now, okay, let me share or let us share few insights with you guys. The real story is really how big is this World Cup? Okay, really how big is this World Cup? So I'm sharing with you one presentation. Yeah. So Russia, correct? This is the official trailer banner. Okay. So this is the global viewership. Okay. So Janak, so this time round, they
yes,
are predicting that it will be 3.4 billion.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So
Against
pardon
a
this.
global population of how much?
Round about seven something. Correct.
Yeah, 7.2, 7.3 billion is the global population.
Correct. And they are saying that, again, pardon for this dollar sign, the global viewership is 3.4 billion for this
Okay,
entire
so
event.
Rahul, I think the presentation is not visible. You have to do the screen thing.
Okay, okay, no problem. I'll do that.
Yeah,
So still, Janak, 3.4 billion. It's
right,
huge, correct?
right.
For a
And
single event.
I was just going through the numbers for Olympics.
Oh,
Yeah, how
so
much do you think are the
one sec.
Olympic?
So is this visible
Yeah,
now?
yeah. Now
Everyone,
it's visible.
it's
Yeah,
visible,
it's not
correct?
full screen. It is in that
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that.
abridged thing.
I'll do the
Yeah,
full screen thing.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, Janak, what were you saying?
So, how much is the Olympics viewership?
Well, Olympics viewership should compete this thing. It should compete this thing.
Yes,
Definitely.
it does. It does. So it's approximately 3.2 billion or something.
Yeah, the thing is, in Olympic, each and every nation they play. Almost all the nation play in Olympic, correct? Whereas in
Right.
Football
So,
World Cup, only 32 countries.
yeah, close to 220 countries are playing in Olympics.
Yes. So the all entire world, correct?
Yeah,
Yes. So again, 3.4, and last time round, Janak, it was 3.2 billion. So it
right,
last
right.
time also it was a pretty good number. Now the biggest thing is have a look at guys FIFA revenue. Okay, the FIFA revenue it is expected to be 6 billion. Okay, from a single event, they are expected to earn $6 billion, and this 6 billion is consist of everything. Yes, Janak?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So it consists of tickets, ticket sales, it consists of sponsorships, it consists of various kind of fees, everything, correct? So FIFA
Yeah.
revenue is 6 billion. It's huge, correct? Now prize money, again prize money has been increased this time round, and total prize money, I am talking about total prize money, that is prize for first round match to prize for the champion. Okay, it is
Right.
400 million dollars. Okay, 400 million dollars, again huge thing, huge jump from the last time round. The big important thing, fans by gender. Suddenly for this 1 month, uh, girls, they have a significant contribution as fans. Okay, 63 to 27. Now after this World Cup, again Premier League matches, La Liga matches, they will start, Asian Cup will start, and suddenly it will drop. Suddenly it will drop, so it's a huge jump for that regard also. Now really, how big is the event? Total spending. Okay, so Janak, Russia, they were expected to spend round about 11 billion dollars. Okay, 11 billion for this World Cup, and they end
Right.
up spending 13 billion dollars for the entire thing.
Right. Rahul,
Yes.
I think the wrong screen is being shared with the public. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, now is this visible now?
It's visible to me, but in the public view, I'm not getting the that screen.
Okay, let's check.
If I turn off my camera,
Yeah, please
then
do that. Let's see.
yeah, I think it would work.
Okay, let me. Okay, I got the problem. I got the problems. So I'll take the controls and then I'll do that.
Yeah, you can do that. You can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah. Done. This is it. This is it. Yeah, I think it is visible now to everyone.
Yeah, like it was visible to me, but I don't think it was visible in public view.
Okay, I guess it is visible now.
Well, 1 minute. Yeah, now it's visible. Now it's good.
Okay, done.
Yes.
Yeah, done. So yeah, $13 billion. 13 billion. It's a huge thing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, 13 billion, guys. You may not comprehend the value of 13 billion. Okay, the 13 billion is the Mozambique country's entire GDP. 13 billion is not a small amount. Okay, 13
Right.
billion is Mozambique's entire GDP. 13 billion. Yeah, there was one article related to this. How much is this 13 billion kind of a thing? So 13 billion is kind of 11 times Vijay Malia's debt.
Oh man.
Correct. People, this all these PSU banks, they are running after Vijay Mallya. 13 billion is 11 times Vijay Mallya's debt. So 13 billion is a huge amount. Okay,
That is what
especially
Russia has spent, right, for the World Cup.
yes, Russia has. This is Russia spending for the World Cup. So I got very interesting. This. Let me show you one more slide, Janak. Okay.
Hmm.
So have a look at this. This is Statista. Okay, and they
Right.
have given how much they have spent and on which item. Okay,
Yeah.
there is no entire spending is not here, but at least bigger heads are here. So local organization investment budget for 2018 FIFA World Cup by Russia.
Hmm.
Okay, so local organization, this much amount, 627 million
Right.
dollars. Prize
Right.
money, as we have discussed, 400 million dollars.
Right.
TV production, club benefit program, IT solution. So this is not a easy task. So look at this IT solution, ticketing solution. So all in all, $13 billion they have spent. Janak. Now,
Right.
correct. Now the question is why? Why one should go through all these problems, okay, or
Hmm.
problems or challenges for a single World Cup?
Right.
Correct. The
Right.
answer it is given by Russia only. Okay. Now
Yeah.
again, as we always say in Money Roller, that you should not trust Anybody on a face value?
Anybody.
Correct?
Yeah.
Correct. Here, Russian government, they are projecting that they will have $31 billion. I
As
will not
their
say write out benefit, but $31 billion worth of economy will be boosted by $31 billion
right.
due to this World Cup. But the catch is they are saying that it will happen from it is for the year of 14 to 20 to 23. That means they are
Hmm.
saying
Hmm.
in this 10 years, economy will be boosted by $31 billion.
Right.
Yes.
So, just to add a little perspective,
Okay.
the South African World Cup of 2010,
Yes.
the spending by South Africa in that World Cup was to the tune of $4 billion.
4 billion only, correct?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for the
So
South
this is
Africa, it's
like,
a huge chunk.
yeah, yeah, of course, for South
Yes.
Africa, it is a very big chunk, and there was a big debate on the 4 billion that is spent too.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
But Russia is spending 2.5 times that amount
Yes, but Janak, if we add inflation, then it will be around about 8 to 10, correct? For today's South African money, correct?
over the last 8 years.
Yeah, over the last 8 years.
Okay, maybe.
Maybe, but still, it is obvious that the bigger country, Russia is supposedly the second biggest country in terms of power and everything in the world, correct?
Right, right.
So yeah, they have spent $13 billion. The problem is not that. Okay. Okay. We will see about Brazil. But before that, Janak,
Right.
let us go through the Russian economy first. Correct.
Yeah, let's have a look at the Russian economy.
So this is our global dashboard, guys. This is the practice in our company that we track various important companies with the help of global dashboard. Here, two countries
Right.
are there. One is Russia and one is Brazil. Okay, we will
Uh,
focus on these two countries.
right.
Yes. So again, we know Vladimir Putin is the premier, is the main man over there. Actually, Vladimir Putin. There was an election, correct? This year there was
Yeah,
election. He has just been appointed again as a president.
yeah. But yesterday I read an article. The headline went by the name that Putin now is preparing for a Russia without him.
Okay, correct. But because the next term will be the last term for Putin,
Yeah,
according to
so
Constitution of Russia,
right,
that is it. That's why he is preparing for the thing. But we all know he wants to be a Russian president or Tsar of Russia for a lifetime.
forever, yeah.
We all know that. But the thing is, look at this, Janak. So Russian GDP, absolute GDP in terms of PPP. Okay. So guys,
Hmm,
here it is GDP. Okay. Here it is GDP. So what I'll
right.
do, should I hide this? Okay. What I'll do, I hide everything. Let's hide columns. Yeah, now it is visible to guys. Okay, so GDP based on current prices, it's $1.52 trillion. Okay, 1.52 trillion, and they have spent how much, Janak? I think 13 billion. Correct. So
Yeah,
it
they
is,
have spent 30 million.
yes, this is 1% of entire GDP they have spent for a single event. That's why
Right,
it's
right.
useful. Correct. Now,
Agreed.
yes, now the bigger problem is over here, guys. Look at this. So from 2012, okay, so Russia, I guess, yes, they have bid for this thing for in 2010. They got the rights
Rights.
of hosting World Cup in 2010, correct?
Hmm,
After
hmm.
that, from 2012 to 2017, in reality, the Russian economy, it was
It's
not
taken a
good.
beating. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
definite
hammered.
beating.
Yeah,
And we all know it is because of
crude
fall of
oil.
crude oil prices, correct? Energy
Correct.
prices, crude oil prices. Well, since it's a commodity driven country, correct, Janak?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And apart from the various other reasons, so look at this. It has taken a beating, minus 3.7. We are talking about
Hmm.
GDP growth and Russia, minus 3.7 and minus 0.8. And during
Right.
that time, Russia actually spent $13 billion. Yes. $13 billion.
Right.
And things are not good over there right now, even because 0.9, the last terms quarterly growth was last to last terms. These are not June numbers. No, these are June numbers. So 0.9% growth only. Okay. Uh,
So I've got another number to add perspective here.
okay.
The budgeted revenues for Russia, like the
Yes.
budget, the revenues that are there in the budget, right?
Okay.
For 2018
Mhm.
are projected to be at $256 billion.
Budgeted revenue.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
budgeted expenditure for Russia for
Mhm.
2018 is projected to be at $277 billion, thereby giving us a fiscal deficit of $21 billion. This was projected in November last year.
Last year. But don't you
Yeah.
think this time's numbers will be a skewed number just because of this event?
So the Russian government put up a number just last month saying that they will gain $31 billion economic benefit, right, from
Okay,
this
okay,
event.
okay.
That should actually give them a surplus of $10 billion. That is what the argument was. So, whereas their fiscal deficit was supposed to be somewhere around 1.7% of their GDP, now it is going to be a surplus of 0.8% of the GDP. That is what they are saying.
Correct. But that means they are saying that it will be beneficial for them. Correct.
Right, right,
Correct. So apart from that, have a look at employment number of Russia again, guys. Employment number Russia pretty much stagnant. These are wage numbers. We don't want that. Inflation numbers. This is the important factor. Have a look at inflation number. No, pardon me. So unemployment number, they are very important. Really, pardon me, because hosting a World Cup, that means building a whole lot of new infrastructure. Correct, Janak? That is a
right,
complete different kind of activity. Okay.
right.
So, and it requires huge
Yeah,
manpower, skill set. Correct. So,
agreed.
in actually, in reality, in this difficult time, have a look at this minus 3.7 and minus 0.8 in 15-16. There is really no impact on unemployment numbers, Janak. It might be due to football World Cup, correct?
Right, but according to the government stats, the unemployment, so basically 220,000 jobs were created because of this.
Yes, 2,20,000 jobs, and that's why this rate is stagnant. This is unemployment rate.
Right, right.
It is stagnant. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And government is saying
Uh,
they have added new jobs.
yeah, they've added 220,000 new jobs. Now, I've actually figured out a big gaping hole in this entire equation.
Okay,
So, the unemployment numbers, basically, they are coming from certain regions of Russia. Okay.
okay, okay,
So if you were to go to see the main two cities of Russia,
okay,
Moscow and that other one,
okay.
which was the other one? Uh,
Petersburg.
Saint Petersburg. So if you were to go to see these two regions of Russia, the
Uh,
unemployment rate is barely 1% there.
okay,
And they are skyrocketing over 10%, 15% in certain regions of Russia.
okay. Ooh,
Now,
15 and
yeah,
10%. Correct. It's
right,
huge.
right. So there's a very big gap here in the unemployment rate.
Mhm.
And again, the World Cup is happening in the European part of Russia.
Yes,
So
yes.
the part which is towards
Eastern
Europe.
Europe.
So yeah, and plus most of the games are again focused in 11 cities, but most of them are in Moscow and Petersburg,
Hmm. Okay,
right?
okay. And that's why there might be a mismatch, correct?
Correct. Now, if you even were to consider 220,000 jobs being added,
Mhm.
okay, in this entire equation, what is the population of Russia?
Hmm. Like that. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Population of Russia. You want population of Russia? It's this. So population
Is
of
there in
Russia
the Excel,
is
right?
14.4
Right. So if there is 14.4 and 2,20,000, 14.4 crore is the
crores.
population, and
Correct.
2 lakh jobs are being added.
Hmm.
So what is the percentage point of populations that are getting the job?
And
That's like
that's why
0.15%.
perfect, perfect. And that's why here it has been hidden in 5.5% to 5.16%. It might be this gap
Right.
also,
So
correct?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't think
definitely,
that rate is
definitely.
ever going to be touched because of this event.
Correct, but you made an excellent point that only 11 cities or two major cities,
Hmm.
they got the benefit of this entire event. Correct.
Yeah,
Good, good.
exactly. And they might be the biggest benefactors also of this job creation thing, right?
Hmm, perfect. Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So yeah, again, inflation. So that was unemployment rate for you guys. Very important number. Now, inflation rate. Okay. At the same time, let us check, Janak. Pardon, but
Hmm.
I'll again go back. Okay. Let us
Hmm.
check the Brazil. So Brazil World Cup 2014, correct?
Right.
And have a look at this Olympic 2016,
Right.
and
For
have a look.
again Brazil.
Yes, Brazil, and have a look at abysmal numbers over there. Uh, 6.8 and 11%. Wow. That means Brazil was in a very bad situation at that time. Correct? Even World Cup and Olympic, they couldn't help Brazil in terms of
Hmm.
an unemployment number.
Right. Right.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting.
So employment being one of the biggest benefits that people are saying about these events,
Correct.
right? Global events.
Correct.
Well, statistically, they are not being translated.
Yeah, definitely not. Yes. Now, inflation rates. Obviously, we knew this thing already that inflation was skyrocketed in Russia in 2014-15, and so as
Right.
the interest rates at that time. So, all in all, Janak, all in all, so
Right.
what was your okay? So all in all, this was the situation. Okay, the
Right.
balance of payment, Janak. The 2016 balance of payment
Right.
number for Russia was 68 billion.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, $68 billion. So all in all, what we
So
wanted to tell you
Russia does have
guys,
a payment surplus.
yeah, pardon.
Russia does break into a surplus on the balance of payment side every year.
Oh, okay, good one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This has been indicating over here. Look at this, plus 68.
Right. Right.
It's plus 60.
Right.
So, all in all, guys, Russia was in a bad shape during this entire thing. So, the question is then why Russia? So, obviously, in 2010, Russia was in a good shape. Okay. And
Hmm.
suddenly, due to commodity price trends, crude oil price trends, natural gas price trends, Russia
Right.
went into the trouble. Now,
Right.
the question is, did this World Cup really help Russia? Correct. Since they are
Okay.
saying it will be $31 billion thing, will this
Hmm.
World Cup help Russia?
Right. That's a
That is the
question.
real question. So, but before that, Janak, let us check out the last times. Okay,
Hmm.
the what happened
Hmm.
in Brazilian World Cup.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So let's check out what happened in Brazil World Cup. So in Brazil World Cup, impact on GDP was 29 billion. It was reported at 29 billion. So
That
31
the
billion for Russia, in my sense, it's actually okay-ish,
achievable.
correct?
Yeah, it's achievable, right?
It's achievable. And this is a now this is the numbers in hindsight, correct?
Hmm. Hmm.
Reported by obviously Brazilian government and God
Yeah,
knows
well,
means
now
we don't know,
we
but
take what we get.
yeah, yeah, we will take this. Now, the impact on final demand was 13 billion according to them. Okay,
Hmm.
demand it can be anything from services, products, everything. Okay,
Right.
impact on production of goods and services 51 billion. Okay, and this is in totality. Production of goods and services, 51 billion.
Right.
So all in all, the infusion in the economy is 64 billion. Okay, and this
Hmm.
is not a final thing. This is comprising of everything. So there was a this thing also. Foreign, be it euro, be it dollar, they got foreign currency during this time.
Right.
Okay. Now World Cup investment from their side, 2.9 billion on media, stadium 2.1 billion, hotel and complexes 1.4 billion. Look at this.
Right.
Urbanization, safety, and highways. Okay,
Hmm.
that they spent a huge amount of chunk during those 4 years, and
Right.
those 4 years are the same years when they were doing really bad. 11 per above 8% unemployment rate,
Hmm.
abysmal GDP growth, and they spent this much amount at that time. And
Right.
they got 374 million purchases, visitors purchase, and
Right.
238 million from transport and other activities.
The this is during the duration of the World Cup, right?
Yeah, this is during the duration of
Right.
the World Cup, definitely,
Right.
just before and after.
Hmm.
So, but Janak, in reality, these numbers they look good on the face of it, correct?
Yes, they do. Actually, I read someplace, okay, that when you are analyzing such an event, you have to analyze a couple of years before the event also, because that's when the actual spending takes place.
Correct,
Then you analyze the duration of the event,
correct,
as we saw, and
correct.
then you analyze what happens after the event,
Yes,
because
definitely.
a large chunk of all this goes in stadiums, as we saw,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Large chunk
Yeah,
goes in stadiums because that's a
yeah.
you and infra. If you don't have a transport infra, then transport infra.
Right. So the those are let's make it two different things. So one is that a large chunk goes in building stadiums. Now, if another large chunk is required subsequently every year to maintain these stadiums. Okay.
Yes,
Now,
definitely.
if you do not have a legacy to carry that forward in your country, this is a dead investment,
Yes,
and it's
Janak, we
never
will
going
come to
to.
that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let us carry forward your first point. That large chunk went into so that is we should analyze 2 year before and after the event. Correct,
Right.
correct. So over here,
So
I
the.
happened to stumble upon a very good table. This is from Bloomberg
Hmm.
Quint's article. No problem.
Hmm.
Every knowledge is a good knowledge. But have a look at
Right.
this. Over here, what they have done, look at this Janak World Cup year,
Yeah.
two year before and 2 year after. Okay.
Right.
And they have
This is a good
analyzed from
number.
1974 to 2014.
Right.
Okay. And as you said, because of these activities, have a look at this.
Hmm.
Most of the World Cup cities or World Cup countries, they have shown a good numbers, okay, in terms of GDP.
So these are the GDP numbers, right?
Yes,
Right.
this is
So we are
growth,
having
GDP growth numbers. Perfect.
before before we are having a good GDP growth, but then after is questionable.
Look, have a look at this now. World Cup year is this, and
Right.
after, and this is post World Cup. Okay, this is post
Hmm.
World Cup.
Hmm.
So look at this Brazil, 1.93,
Hmm.
0.5 minus minus. Yes,
Yeah.
correct. And the real numbers are here. They have taken an average. So 2.9, 2.4. And here, that means countries, they experience slump after the World Cup or major event. So World Cup means World Cup, Olympic, major events. Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So this is the real scenario in those countries.
Yeah. Even South Africa got hit. Is
Yeah,
it?
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Oh wow.
But
This
at
is a
least
good
they have
number.
shown
Yeah.
a 3% and 3.3% good numbers during that time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So these are the these are the averages, but these are the averages. But
Right.
still, then why there is a so big prestige issue? Why there is a so means People are why people are fighting for that they want to host World Cup. Correct. The
Right,
India is
right.
uh, they have an aspiration. Correct. They have an aspiration to hold World Cup or
Hmm.
Olympic. Correct.
Right.
They want to do that. But
Yeah,
why
they
so
won't do
serious?
that.
Why everybody is so serious in this
About the World Cup.
about the World
Yeah,
Cup or this? So
right.
one more point, Janak. Let's carry on with your point. Okay,
Hmm.
and that point is first, as we have seen that people, if we take last 60 years average, okay, so countries they
Hmm.
have not done good post World Cup time. Okay,
Right,
countries they have
right.
not done good post World Cup time. Still,
Hmm.
everyone is fighting for World Cup. So the example is 2022 Qatar. So
Right.
Qatar, they fought like anything for that World Cup. Actually, uh, US was supposed to get that seat. Okay, US was supposed to get that seat. But
Yeah, US was trying to for the Qatar World
yes,
Cup.
and US was so furious when FIFA elected Qatar. So we will talk about that at the end. In every session, we do some alternative fact theories, correct?
Right, right.
So we will talk about this at the end. But why? Again, why? Qatar, I'm sure. So Qatar, I have one number for Qatar. So these guys, they have spent 10 million, 13 billion. Qatar is planning to spend 200 billion for World Cup.
$200 billion.
Yes, yes. So why so serious about the World Cup?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, World Cup or Olympic. In reality, you are correct, Janak, that these events, because this World Cup, this Olympic, they require huge infrastructure because during
Right,
that time, the intensity or the pressure on the infrastructure or the state is humongous, correct? So
right,
they build entire facility for that kind of intensity and pressure, correct?
right,
But after World Cup, most of the time they don't get use at that intensity. So this is for 1976. Have a look at this. Abandoned. This entire arena is abandoned now. So Rio
right,
de Janeiro 2016 abandoned. Why?
right.
Because that those cities they don't require so much stadiums.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So
Beijing, even Beijing, this world's
Beijing too,
first,
huh?
yeah, and these are the Olympic venues. Okay, guys, when we say World Cup or Olympic, yeah,
Okay,
big events. So these are Olympic venues. So Beijing means we say first or second ranked country in terms of medal tally, but still they even don't want these many stadiums for Beijing.
right.
So Athens, so there is a huge, yeah, we'll talk about Athens. We will talk about Athens, Jenna. Do you want to say something about Athens 2004?
No.
So there is a common theory, or there is a kind of a blame on Olympics, 2004 Olympics, that Greece was in trouble already, but the last nail in the coffin was 2004 Olympics. They
The
spent huge
eh,
amount of chunk on that, okay, and post
hmm,
that everything is abandoned. There were less jobs post this thing post Olympics. Fiscal deficit was high of that country, and after that country went into the slum. This
right.
Olympic thing. Yeah, so coincidence is that post Beijing, China also went into the slum. Post
Yeah,
Brazil, post this World Cup 2014, Brazil also went into the slum. Actually, Brazil was in the process of downtrend, but this major event exaggerated that thing in numbers.
um, I have a counter argument. Now, it might sound very technical,
Okay.
but can you go back to the World Cup chart, the Bloomberg Quint chart that we saw?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's the one. So, if you were to study the years in which the World Cup took place, okay,
Yes.
are these years now, since it is World Cup happens every 4 years.
Okay.
Okay. And we are seeing a 4 year business cycle too,
Correct. Correct.
right?
Correct.
So, do you think that it's
Got your point. Yes, please.
just a coincidence
Hmm.
that every time the 4 year economic cycle is about to turn downwards, that is when the World Cup takes place?
So it can be a statistic even because yes, perfect, fairly valid point. Because all these countries they bid for a World Cup at their economic peak or peak
Right.
for in their uptrend of economy. Correct.
Yeah.
Take it Brazil, take it Russia, take it any one of this country. Correct. So for 2012 Beijing, China must have bid in 2004. Correct, 8 years before.
Right.
So at that time, China was at peak, near high, correct peak or
Yeah.
in the uptrend. It 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 is
E-
very much possibility, Jana, that
Even the general global economic cycle, like if the World Cup, let's say, took place in 2006,
mhm,
right, the Germany one,
correct,
2008, everything went bad,
correct.
right? So maybe 2 years after the World Cup, the numbers are obviously bad because everything went bad.
Yeah,
Same,
it is a possibility, definite possibility. But the
yeah,
major thing is, Janat, so it think from different perspective also that
okay,
everybody know that this is a we are in uptrend. This might
right,
not prevail for a long term. Okay,
right,
correct. But they still go and bid for the World Cups or the
yeah,
Olympics. Okay,
right.
are they looking for a situation, event, or some kind of let's say event to push their economy in the bad terms? Is it the case? Kind of
Of course not, of course not.
not. Why?
Like, why do they want to push the economy back?
No, 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 no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they know that this is an
Hmm,
economy. It will move up and down. Okay.
hmm, hmm.
Are they looking for some kind of event? Okay. That will
Uh,
help them in the bad phase.
of course they're looking. They are looking to boost tourism also.
They're looking to boost tourism also. Correct.
Right.
Yes, but on the other side also, nobody knows how bad things can be or how good things can be in the future. Correct.
Yeah, it is, at least from these statistics, it does seem like a speculation.
It
Although I
can be.
have got a few points which I will present later on, which
Definitely. And other
might
from the
present a
other arena,
justification.
let's not talk
Yeah,
about economics alone, okay? Because
right,
hosting this World Cup and Olympics and all these things, it is nothing
right.
but a huge diplomatic prestige issue, correct? This is a huge
Hmm,
prestige issue. It is a kind of a
of course.
statement that we have arrived, kind of a thing, correct?
Hmm,
And because of that also these guys uh, bid for this. So for Russia,
hmm,
the Sochi Olympics, Winter Olympics, and this
right.
World Cup, it was a huge prestige thing for Russian people and Russian politics, especially Russian diplomacy.
Yeah, agreed. And especially now that the light in which Russia is being viewed, all their past heroics are now being forgotten thanks to the sanctions that have been imposed on them.
Yes, but Russia in 1980, I guess, in 1980, Russia hosted Olympics, correct?
Right,
But
right,
it was boycotted by most of the Western countries
right.
because because Russia at that time invaded Afghanistan, correct? So Russia has
Yeah.
that. What can I say? Uh, Russia's
See,
past
I
is
love
not very
Russia.
good when it comes to this kind of events, correct?
They won the World War II. They
Yeah,
helped
but
US and UK this time round, big
yes,
time.
but still, the thing is, post Cold War, Russia's is not good. Russia's past is not good when it comes to these big events, and the
Yeah,
West,
agreed,
yeah,
agreed.
and in the Cold War and post Cold War, and especially after destruction of USSR, these Western countries, correct?
It,
They have so
yeah,
much control on the world polity and diplomacy that
right.
Russia, for the long period of time, they have acted like a small brother, correct? But in
Right.
reality, now they have got a chance with China and everything to be a
Hmm.
big brother. And this World Cup and Sochi Olympic, they are trying to stand that.
Of course, of course. And plus, there are two, three other ways of looking at it too. Like Russia desperately needed an image makeover. That we
Definitely.
know. Another thing is that in general, also we are seeing a shift from the Western countries, which are slowing down, towards our end of the countries, right? Towards the
Definitely.
Eastern
Definitely.
countries. Now, again, Russia is a growth is very slow. The GDP of Russia is slow. I agree,
Hmm.
but I would still consider Russia to be a developed nation and not a developing one,
Yeah, it is a developed nation.
despite of it being put in the BRICS bracket and all that.
Yeah. It's a developed nation.
Yeah, it is a developed nation. It's like got 14 crore population.
And the largest country in the world in terms of geography,
Land,
land.
right, right. And if you want to see the stuff there and all, it's obviously like a developed nation as compared to India and China,
Yes.
right? So Russia will fancy itself playing a very large part in the rise of the eastern states,
Yes, definitely.
eastern
And they are
countries.
playing with the help of China. Correct.
Yeah. So this World Cup actually even put that perspective ahead.
Correct. That we have arrived. We are here, kind of a thing. Correct. Correct.
Absolutely,
Definitely. So
absolutely.
there is a very good story related to this. We will
Yeah,
talk about that later. But you are correct. Even the FIFA have recognized that enough of Western European countries. Okay,
yeah,
so there was a dominance in FIFA for Western European countries, and that's why this Mr. Blatter. So he took World Cup to this South Africa. Correct. He took a World Cup to Brazil.
yeah. That shift happened in 2008.
Yeah. Shift happened over
Even
there.
even uh,
Hmm.
even Olympics started going to developing countries in 2008.
Yes, because they found out that yes, the next big thing is there, right?
Right,
And this time round, so the FIFA officials, we know they are corrupt, we know everything, but when it comes to money, they are a bit smart. They know that now money is not in European countries. So this time round,
right.
this all of this increase in money, okay, increase in viewership, increase in revenue, increase in sponsorship, the large chunk is because of only one
Asia.
country.
Yeah, it's because of not one country, it's because of two
Yeah,
countries.
China. No. I'm saying just in this entire pie, China has played very good role.
Of course, yeah, yeah. The being the main key sponsor.
Yeah. So every aspect in viewership also, after China has shifted their stance, okay, to
Hmm.
consumption country, correct, uh, and they are focusing on football. The China has played huge part. Even in India, Janak,
Hmm.
we have broke our records for viewership.
Yeah, yeah. India has also done a good job.
Yeah, undercurrent is good.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the abandoned nations. So please go. There is very good book on this that how Olympic Athens Olympic broke the Greece. There is one book. Please go and read that. Now the problem. There is one more problem, Janak. That
Hmm.
this is the graph of Winter Olympic. Okay, I'm bit digressing. Okay, but
Right.
when it comes to big event, I got this data, and this is the look at this
Uh,
budgeted cost and final cost. So there is a huge difference in budgeted cost and final cost. Okay,
right.
this is
Right.
also put lot of pressure on countries
Right.
and their economies. Have a look at Sochi Olympic, Winter 2014, 10, 28.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, oh, and this is billions.
Yeah, they're off by a large margin. Yeah.
Yeah, they spent more amount of money than Football World Cup for Winter Olympics. And I don't know how many people watch Winter Olympics.
Uh,
Correct? Have a look
yeah,
at
yeah.
this Athens.
Yeah,
3
I know how
billion.
many people. So Winter Olympics is being watched by approximately 2.8 billion viewers
Wow.
worldwide. Yeah.
Wow. It's
So
huge.
we cannot undermine that.
No, no, I was not knowing that. It's huge,
Yeah.
man. It's huge.
Yeah.
But Janak, have a look at Athens. 3 billion was budgeted expenditure. They spent 16 billion.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the problem is now, if you see, these countries, okay,
Hmm.
country is now realizing that apart from prestige issue, there is a very big problem. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
And have a look at, this is the Business Insider. I got this from Business Insider that for 2022 only Beijing have bid for 2022 Olympic.
Right.
Only Beijing. So apart from that, for 2032 Olympic, Janak, only India and Australia, they are showing their interest.
Right,
So
because India is going to take those many years to do that kind of investment.
so people they have correct. So people, the countries, they are realizing now that these events, they are putting a lot of pressure. Apart from that, you know, you have seen
Hmm.
FIFA's revenue, correct? So
Right,
this FIFA and World Olympic Organization, they are asking for lot much revenue pie, huge revenue pie from the host country, and
yeah,
that
I
is,
think they're asking for like what, 3 billion?
I don't have the exact percentages with me, but over the years, their percentages, their
Hmm.
chunk in entire pie has been increasing. Okay,
Hmm.
so much so that hosting an Olympic or these things, they are becoming a struggle for these countries.
Hmm.
Okay, so now if you see South Africa World Cup, okay,
Right,
it was more of a it was a pride thing for South Africa, correct? Because
of
at that
course.
times in the BRICS thing, South Africa was giving run for their money to India, correct?
Right,
Brazil,
right,
same thing with Brazil at that time,
right.
correct?
Hmm.
Russia, different prospect that we have arrived. That's why they are taking the World Cup
So,
again. Qatar has
I've
the
got
complete
a I've got
different
a very
agenda.
interesting viewpoint on the South African World Cup which took place. All right,
Okay,
which can actually be seen, which has a lot of learnings at a lot of different levels.
okay,
So let me just run us through what I've gathered on the South African World Cup.
yeah, yeah, please.
Right. So the cost for the South African World Cup was around 4 billion.
Okay,
Right. And they created something around 415,000 jobs. So 4,15,000 jobs were created in that
okay,
country.
okay,
Right. Now, people say that, okay, South African tourism got a boost. A lot of jobs and business opportunities were created.
mhm,
A lot of urban infrastructure was created.
correct,
And therefore, the World Cup was really good. That's what the one set of people are arguing. And
correct.
then we have got another set of people who give a series of counter arguments also. One of the arguments being that approximately 90,000, approximately, yeah, I think 90,000 homes were displaced. Okay, for
Perfect,
creating so the cities which did not have a stadium and did not have the infrastructure,
perfect,
etc., to build
perfect.
them, people
Very
had to
good point.
move. Okay,
Yeah.
and they were moved in such tenements which were slum-like tenements with
Not
metal
habitable.
huts.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Same thing happened with
so
Brazil.
right,
Yeah. So Janak, at this point, think about
yeah,
India also, correct? So we in Delhi we have New Delhi, Old Delhi, correct?
right.
Whenever foreign delegates come, correct? We
Hmm.
took them. We do not took the ride them through Old Delhi, correct?
Hmm.
We ride them through circumference of the Delhi, good parts of Delhi, correct?
Yeah,
Same
of course.
thing. It is the
You will
same
not take them to
psychology.
right. Right.
So
So
in
same thing, same thing. So since they did not want all these tenement kind of homes to be around the stadiums, they
Mhm.
actually erased them, displaced the people to worse homes in metallic huts,
Correct,
in people in facilities which was surrounded by concrete walls
correct,
and stuff
correct,
like that.
correct.
So again, so people argue that okay, so it's just the upliftment of a certain
Reaches.
sect of people or a certain cities that got the benefit.
Perfect, perfect.
On
So,
the other hand,
mhm.
on the other hand, there is another argument which comes, which is a counter argument. Okay.
Okay.
So while this happened is obviously this thing that happened is obviously very unfortunate.
Mhm.
Okay. The other infrastructure development which does take place, like the proper roads, proper
Okay.
water facilities,
Okay.
proper lighting, electrical facilities, etc.
Correct.
These which took place in the South Africa because of the World Cup, they were planned to take place over the next 6 years by the earlier government.
Okay. Okay. Definitely. Very good
And
point.
yeah, that just got expedited in a few regions because of the World Cup. So uh, the benefits of that will be reaped by the citizens who are living there even after the World Cup. So that was one argument of the infrastructural bit of the expenditures which are taking place in these events.
But Janak, at this point, I just want to add
Hmm.
one thing that
Hmm.
I completely agree with that. There are two sides, okay, and
Right.
both have pros and cons. But the thing
Right.
is, the other side, that is, they have accelerated their growth or infra upliftment or improvement, okay.
Right.
But the problem is, same thing happened in Brazil, and the problem is that what happened when you
Hmm.
create a good locality, let's say around the stadium or where this event is happening, okay. When you
Right.
create good locality and when you wiped out all the poor people or
Yeah, that happened in smaller towns.
yeah, away from this locality, the
Right.
benefits, it will be reaped by again a rich community or rich population, correct?
I
Because
agree.
and the impact will not be widespread.
Right. Right.
That can happen. This happened in Brazil. Okay, so in Brazil, in Rio, there was one particular builder who has connections. Okay, he
Hmm.
really built a new Rio, the which is only for rich people. It
Right.
will not have a place for poor people. He has a proper document for New Rio de Janeiro, and
Hmm.
over there around that they were trying to build this the Olympic structure and football structure, or bus routes
Right.
and everything.
So I agree.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So one more additional thing about the South African World Cup. Okay.
Yes.
So if you were to put aside the economic impact of that, okay, so
Okay.
there is a big social benefit that South Africa got from this
Okay.
World Cup. Okay.
Okay.
So as we know, South Africa was plagued with apartheid in the past, right? Where a
Okay.
lot of that black and white problem happened
Perfect.
and all that
Perfect.
stuff.
Perfect.
So it is since they invited all these nations, irrespective of black, white, and all,
Mhm.
to their
Correct.
soil,
Correct.
and all these nations played on the same turf and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And even we had so that fostered a new kind of unity amongst the domestic citizens of South Africa. I have read quite a few reports which suggest
Mhm.
that whereas, okay, even after apartheid, people would still have that
Yeah, it will happen.
racism
They
in
will
them
happen.
to some extent, right?
Correct.
But because of the World Cup, all the South Africans, native South Africans, were seen as one.
It.
Okay, and
Mhm.
yeah, so the national जो national feeling होता है
Correct.
towards their own country,
Correct. Correct.
yeah, that gained a big plus in the South African World Cup. So that was a big gain which they got.
Yeah, yeah. Even if it was there for, let's say, for a year, okay,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
even if it would have changed at least 5 to 10% population, it's still good. It is still good.
Agreed. And also for the rest of the continent. So Africa as a continent is also viewed very differently by everyone. So when the southern part of the continent was representing the continent too, right, to some extent.
Okay.
So the benefits, the social benefits of perception were actually uh, felt up to Cairo, that is in Egypt. So everyone was proud to that extent that okay, our continent is now hosting an
World
event
Cup.
of this
Yeah,
prestige. Yeah,
it's a good side. It's a good side. And
yeah,
to add into that about social unity, so there
hmm,
is one good movie. I forgot the name, and this
hmm,
is a reality also. Based on that, they have
hmm,
created a movie. So Nelson Mandela, when he came to power, okay, to
right,
increase unity, uh, he encourages he encouraged their rugby team, okay,
hmm,
for the World
hmm,
Cup, and actually they won the World Cup in
right,
1992, I guess.
wow,
At
wow,
that time also they played similar kind of that World Cup win uh, played similar kind of role for the unity.
right, right,
But at the same point, let me be bit realistic, or let me give the alternate view. Okay,
okay.
and just after this World Cup, the next election, it
Mhm.
was again clear divide. Okay, black versus whites. Correct. Again,
Yeah,
if you see on in the cricket teams now, there is rule that there must be five black people. Correct.
right,
So
right.
I know, we cannot be cynic over here. Okay,
Right.
everything
So
has its value.
the point here is that there is no black and white answer. There is a gray answer or maybe a middle line answer about the impact.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
The
Definitely,
there's
definitely.
another negative thing about the South African World Cup too, which will extend over to the Russian World Cup also.
Yes.
So whereas they did build all these new stadiums and all, right? The
Correct.
government in created like crazy sports infrastructure in South Africa.
Correct.
Now, people say that local businesses should have benefited from the incremental tourism that happened.
Mhm.
Now, FIFA and their sponsors,
Correct.
these guys ate up a huge chunk of the benefits that were to be incurred from the incremental tourism.
Perfect.
For
Yes.
example, if I'm a stadium, outside my stadium in the vicinity, FIFA made lots of fan parks, right? Like we see in IPL.
IPL.
And yeah, and in those fan parks, they would sell McDonald's food, who was a major FIFA sponsor.
Sponsor.
Yeah, so the sponsors were given redemption in all those fan parks as opposed to the local businesses that could have got that benefit.
Back to capitalism, my boy. Back to capitalism.
Right.
That's bound to happen, correct? That's
Yeah.
bound to happen.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, all these countries, all these poor people, all the people rather, they pay taxes. From that tax money, these countries host World Cups, correct?
Hmm.
And all these FIFA and their fan parks and their sponsors, they come in and they reap the benefit and they go out. And
Absolutely.
country is left with the empty stadium, the big fiscal deficit, correct,
Agree.
and everything to. That means they are left to pick up the pieces. Let's see. The good thing about Russia is that their football league is very good. Okay, so
Right.
they may use these stadiums. Stadiums problem they will not face. The Russia.
So, there was an article in which the Russian minister was saying that we have actually prepared a legacy plan for the stadiums for utilization after the World Cup in order to offset our maintenance costs of these stadiums.
Good one. Good one. That
He
has to be
also
done.
went on to say that the legacy program that we have set, at least for the next 5 years, they will not be sufficient to cover the annual maintenance cost of the stadium. But we are hoping that after 5 years, they reach that stage where whatever benefit is incurred from the in-house sports football tournament that they have do maintain the stadiums uh, by the revenues.
Yes,
And
yes.
that brings us to the another point that football in South Africa was a very big phenomenon even earlier, and in any state, of course, and but especially for a country like South Africa, where the right sports infrastructure wasn't present,
Perfect.
right? When this kind of an event took place, they got that kind of infrastructure and that boost that the sport required. At least that is an argument which is put forth.
Hmm, 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 hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, positive side.
Right.
Yes. So Brazil. So now we come to the point, Janak, where we should
Hmm.
discuss that uh, what will happen to Russia.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what will
Absolutely.
happen to Russia? You made a very good point that it's all about timing, correct?
Right.
That it is by chance that every country meets their big event during the downtrend or just
Hmm.
after the downtrend, correct? Same
Right.
thing happened
Right.
with Brazil. They
Right.
got events during downtrend, during political scams, during corruption and everything, correct?
Right.
That's why
Right.
these events were detrimental for Brazil. Same thing
Right.
with Greece. Okay, average is also
Right.
bad. The question is, they left
What
with
about
zombie. But
Russia?
the question is, what will happen to Russia? Okay,
Hmm.
what will happen to Russia? So here, let me say one thing that Russia isn't there. I think they are in sixth year, correct, of
Right.
bad GDP growth, correct, economic downtrend. Let's say even the global
Hmm.
arena, the entire globe is in their sixth year, not sixth year,
Right.
let's say 10th year
Right.
kind of a thing. 2008 to 2018, only last two
Yeah.
quarters they were good. Last two quarters they were good for everyone, even for Russia, but still they are
Right.
at 0.9% GDP growth.
Yeah.
Now,
I
Janak,
agree.
now, Janak, let's talk about this. If Russia is going to bypass this trap, how are they going to bypass
What are
and
the
what are the
factors?
positive sides?
Right. Right. So, on that note, I've got a couple of pointers that I came across,
Okay,
which made sense. Okay. One is that the Russian budget, okay, where I mentioned that the budgetary revenues for 2018
perfect.
were supposedly on the lines of hitting $256 billion. I mentioned that in the start. Now, when these guys they calculate the Russian budget, okay, they have assumed crude oil prices, okay, average crude oil price, which is very low.
Okay,
So, yeah, so even if crude oil were to go down by 15% from current levels,
okay.
this projection will not be affected by a very large margin.
Wow, that's a good thing.
Right. So that is a one positive of the Russian economy that we are seeing in these projections, because we are seeing that since the crude oil prices have recovered, they are actually their deficit is now turning into some kind of a surplus, right?
And
The
that
trade
is the
deficit.
most important pointer for Russian economy, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
the positive side for Russia is also one thing that uh, they, along with Saudi, they hold crude oil market now. They are the dominant force
Agreed.
in OPEC.
Uh,
In OPEC and this Russia, they are the dominating force.
yeah. Maybe if you want, you can switch off the camera. You can switch the camera on or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Anyways, so the point I was saying is that
yes,
another thing, the lack of growth of Russia that we observed over the last few years.
okay,
Okay, there was one more big reason that was attributed to that apart from crude oil.
okay,
That is their reduction of investment in their mining and minerals
Segments,
section.
sections. Perfect.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because that is, apart from crude oil, that is a very, very big industry in Russia. And the investments that they are making in that region is was dwindling over the last 2, 3 years, owing to the global China problems and all that. So there was lack of
Correct.
investment
Why will
happening there.
anyone invest in commodity production when after
Right.
2012 to 16 they were
Hmm.
hitting new lows? Correct.
Agreed.
That's why they stopped that. But it is
Yeah.
again commodity based thing. Correct. And
Yeah, it's a commodity-based thing. And
but correct. Your point is correct that the commodity is bottoming out. They will start investing again. Perfect.
there's another add-on perspective to that
Okay.
point
Okay.
that currently the Russian growth is also gonna come from a new change that they are making in their own economy.
Hmm.
They have started digitization of the economy. They are migrating towards smart cities. It sounded very Modi-ish when I actually read it.
And the
So
Germany thing,
yeah,
they are digitizing. Everyone is digitizing. Everyone is demonetizing. What is happening? We are
yeah,
producing clones, clones countries.
yeah, correct. And they are building homes. So so what Russia said is that their internal consumption, they are looking for internal consumption to grow to increase their what do you call
GDP demand,
GDP.
GDP.
But yeah, that is one thing. But I found out something which is drastically opposite of that in statistical figures too. So if you would want, I would elaborate on that too.
Yeah, yeah, please, please, because the real question is whether Russia is going to bypass this or not.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
and
like other countries, they will fall into this trap. Correct?
yeah, correct. And we are seeing a lot of numbers. Now, when I actually went to see whether these numbers are justifiable, I came across something really stupidly alarming. Okay.
Okay.
I cannot see you, man. I want to see you. Can you put the camera on?
Yeah, yeah. So for that, we need to off this.
Yeah, then later when we want, we can again get the screen back.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So the thing is, the
Hmm.
important, the thing is over here that,
Yeah, you just click on that stop sharing thing. Yeah,
yeah, I have done that.
right.
Yes, camera is on now.
Ah, yes, I can see you now.
Yes. Yeah, tell me.
Right. So, when we spoke about the unemployment rate of Russia, okay,
Correct.
and at that point in time, when we saw that a few cities had 10-12% unemployment,
Perfect.
okay. Another thing that we looked at that point in time is the poverty rate of Russia. Okay,
Poverty rate, correct.
poverty rate, and that is
Yes.
very, very alarming. So globally, the standards of poverty, okay, they are defined as in Russian rubles. If I were to quantify, they are defined as 5,000 rubles per month. If you're not spending that much, if your purchasing power parity is not that much, then you are considered to be poor.
Janak,
Now,
fun fact.
yeah, hmm,
So, Russian ruble, Indian rupee,
rupee
not
same,
much
same.
difference. Not much
Yeah,
difference nowadays. That's why so
right.
many Indians are there in Russia. We are the third country to buy highest amount of tickets. Means third non-playing
Oh,
country.
I did not know that. I did
US,
not know that.
China, India. Everybody is there.
All
They
right.
are enjoying thanks to the flawed global monetary policies.
Oh, my goodness.
That's why ruble is equal to rupee. Not equal to. It's bit pricey than rupee, but still 10% is okay for us.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, please go ahead.
So now this thing, this poverty thing, now globally accepted is 5,000 rubles. Okay.
Yes.
Russia considers it as 10,000 rubles. So Russia says that you are poor, a poor Russian if you are earning less than 10,000 rubles. Now the amount of people who are below the poverty line, this 10,000 wala poverty line, okay, has actually gone up drastically over the last 8 years.
Has to be correct.
So
The economy is not doing good,
yeah, so
but
despite of your
number is the quantum is huge.
yeah, so despite of your unemployment rate remaining the same, we are still seeing a alarming rise in the number of people who are earning
Below
less than
10,000.
10,000 rubles a month, and that number is also pretty huge. I actually have not noted down the number, but if you can go and Google it, it's really huge number.
So
And
at this point, let me take or let me look at everything from the different angle also.
hmm,
So the thing is, last year or this year, I guess, this year there was an election,
hmm,
correct? And the uh, entire election campaign,
hmm,
okay, whatever the attention, it was on World Cup, correct? It was on uh, global behavior, okay,
hmm,
global Western countries' behavior with Russia instead of unemployment, poverty, as you said, correct?
right,
All those
right.
issues, it got diverted to this Olympic, Sochi Olympic, or whatever World Cup, or this. Let's make Russia great again. Trump. So everywhere things are same. So
Right, right.
everywhere things are kind of same.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. So
Interesting.
it's very interesting, and these guys are going on to say that okay, for going forward, at least for the next 1 2 years, our growth is going to stem from internal
Consumption.
consumption. It sounds very
Far-fetched.
optimistic.
Yeah, it sounds very optimistic
Yeah.
because yeah, it sounds very optimistic, definitely. And I don't know, I don't know. But again, the cliched question is the economy growth is the right indicator to judge whether all the population
No,
is doing
right?
good?
Because
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Is it a right indicator? Don't know, don't know. But again, let's if we come back to point again, that entire thing will be on then crude oil and commodity prices again. Then correct?
yeah, crude
If
oil, commodity prices, global trade, all of them are gonna
that's
go up.
it, that's it. Correct. At a total country's good numbers, at least on papers, it will based on commodities, not on internal consumption, not on these things.
Right, right.
Okay, okay. Again, very good thing. And they may survive. Numbers may look good because we all know crude oil prices. They are in the uptrend, and they may remain in uptrend due to I don't know Aramco IPO and all those things. So
Right.
next thing, I think Aramco IPO is the next thing. Correct, Janak? I don't
Yeah, yeah,
know.
it's the next big thing for crude.
No, our next EMR talk.
No, no, our next TMR talk is something different.
Okay, no problem. So next to
Right.
next, Aramco IPO is there, but due to Aramco IPO, crude oil prices may remain at the upper territory.
Yeah, they
Russia
will
is a
at least
dominant
manage the
force in
prices till
deciding crude
then.
oil prices. Huh?
They will at least manage the prices till the IPO.
Yeah, definitely. Russia has a big hand to play in this, correct? Apart from that, commodity prices they have bottomed out. So all in
Hmm.
all, Russia may just skip through the trap.
Yeah,
They may.
they might scrape through the trap, but what remains to be seen is that how do they address the larger problems of the economy? Okay, and
That's the right question, but yeah, that's the right question. I was talking about more of on paper
oh,
kind of a thing.
their banking system is also pretty bad. It's like ours only. Like the two of their banks were requiring a bailout, and those two banks actually controlled 5% of the loans disbursed by the entire banking system.
And that's huge. 5%?
Yeah,
5% is huge. At least it's better than US.
Yeah, so I've got a counterpoint there that I don't know about Qatar. Why are they putting in 200 billion? But the World Cup going to US would actually be in favor of the US. That
Good
is
one.
what
And at
my
this
point is.
point, I think we should move on to our next discussion. So, what's the thing? The thing that the Blatter, the previous chairman of FIFA,
Yeah,
he was of plan that 18 will happen in Russia, 22 will happen in US, and
right.
it was sure. Okay, it was sure. Suddenly something happened. Okay, suddenly two things happened. Russia did deal with Qatar of natural gas deal. Okay,
Ooh.
suddenly, normally what happened, Janak? Each and every host, they select host 8 year before. This
Hmm.
time round, I don't know why, but FIFA in 2010 decided to select 18 and 22's host in a single meeting. Okay, that was the second thing.
Hmm.
So, one Russia Qatar deal, second, this thing, and third thing was that Sarkozy, France, then Prime Minister
Hmm.
Sarkozy, Sarkozy had meeting with Qatar. Okay,
Hmm.
something happened. Okay, then Michel Platini. Okay, Michel Platini, he behind the back of Sepp Blatter did something. Okay, and so actually, this entire stuff, okay, this
Hmm.
entire who decide the hosting, who is going to host, correct? So I think there is
Yeah,
24 or
it's a
30
committee,
people
FIFA
committees
committee
there.
or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and you just have to influence them. Okay, you just have to lobby them that vote for this country, vote for that country, and this time. So as you know, this FIFA headquarters is also in Switzerland. So
Yeah.
at that time the problem was so huge. Okay, at that time the this meeting was so huge that all these countries, they use bribery, they use flattery. Flattery is the normal thing. They use bribery, they use money, they use their intelligence agencies to find out other countries bid.
Oh,
So
nice.
there is saying that UK has uh, appointed their best MI6 agent for this. The entire Russian operation was. There is a man called Roman Abramovich, the Chelsea owner, Chelsea Football Club owner. He has a huge hand in getting this thing to Russia because in African World Cup he had face-to-face meeting with Sepp Blatter, and at that time people were like, okay, 18 is done. What about 22? And suddenly
Oh.
somehow Qatar got the 22, and there are huge allegations. After that, Platini resigned. After that, Sepp Blatter resigned. After that, most of the EXO committees member, they have resigned. Okay, because there was a huge corruption charges on each and every of them. It is due to corruption, money, and everything. Because who in the right set of mind will give World Cup uh, host?
Away like that.
Yeah, no, the to country where temperature is 140 degrees during this time, during World Cup time. Today's temperature goes to 140 degrees.
It's bizarre.
It's bizarre, and that's why Qatar has promised that they will put in $200 billion so that they can build
Air conditioning.
stadiums with roof and with air condition in that. Okay, they have launched, they have promised at FIFA that this World Cup will be the futuristic World Cup. We will see
Hmm.
futuristic stadiums, futuristic buses, routes, everything futuristic. You have not seen like that before. Okay, they have promised that and they are doing that. But the biggest
Hmm.
problem is that when I read that first, I was like, this is not good. And during this entire research again, I felt like abandoning Qatar World Cup. Why? Because if you see, yeah, definitely, it's there are two things. Okay, so those who are going to go to Qatar for the World Cup, they will be so surprised and they will astonished. It will be a lifetime experience, futuristic kind of
Of course,
experience.
it's gonna
The
be like
problem is,
one of a kind.
yes, the problem is that Qatar is, because Qatar is a small country. Okay, over there people have money and everything. They don't have slaves. Correct? They don't have manpower.
Hmm.
They are buying manpower from Bangladesh. All these SAF
Right,
countries. Okay,
right.
India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and small countries. Okay,
Hmm.
they are taking these things. They are taking slaves over there, and over there, the system is kind of bandua mazdoor. That means once you go over there,
Bonded
you
labor.
have to pledge your thing to your owner,
Give your
and
passport
it
and all
has
that.
been done through contracts. Okay,
Right.
and
Ah.
over there, once you go over there, they take their passports. Okay, and to take exit from the country, they have to take permission of the owner.
Right.
So that, because of that, and because of that, they are not getting money. They have not been paid. They are not getting money. All these slaves, not slaves, but laborers, they are treating them like a slave. They are kept in
But
a,
that has been happening in Dubai and the
no,
entire
it's different.
Burj
It's
Khalifa
different.
thing also, yeah.
So different part is that uh, if you go to any embassy, okay, where all these laborers are going, whether in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and other parts of the world, the laborers, the percentage of deaths are huge in Qatar, and that has been increasing
Oh.
since 2014. Okay,
Oh.
more number of people, they are returning dead from Qatar. Why? Because low grade food, ultra high temperature, okay, and
Inhuman.
no human like conditions.
Okay.
So because of that, it's a huge issue, and people are, means, now filing for petition that Qatar should be stripped off as a World Cup host. It will not happen,
Oh.
definitely not happen. We are not in a uh, we are not
Ideal
in
world.
that. We are in real world. It is not going to happen. But yeah, things are bad. All you guys, please go and read about this. Read about Qatar. But yeah, again, World Cup will come. It will be a huge success. It will be a futuristic success, and everyone will forget that again.
Maybe a reason Qatar is investing 200 billion is to hedge itself from off its primarily crude business.
Yeah, but yes, crude and natural gas is the huge thing. But the problem
Yeah.
is, but the good thing for Qatar is that they are doing good when natural gas is at bottom. Natural gas is going to go up in next 10 years, correct?
Hmm.
So everything is amazing for Qatar.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yes.
But again, if everyone moves towards electric vehicles and all that stuff, uh, what is the life that you see for all these fossil fuels beyond 10 years?
But majorly, Qatar's major is natural gas, and natural gas is considered to be a renewable thing, correct? And if we see
Okay.
the technological thing, okay, the technology around natural gas, it is in the process of building,
Hmm.
correct? We are
Hmm.
not seeing the peak of that. We are just in the green zone in terms of
Right,
technology
right.
built around natural gas. So the future is good, very good for at least for natural gas in terms of that. Okay.
Yeah. So then we still don't know the story of why Qatar is doing this.
Yes, yeah, because in the Saudi, no, this is according to my view. The South, when we say Arab nations, which country comes to your mind?
UAE, Saudi.
UAE, especially Dubai, correct?
Yeah.
Especially Dubai. Qatar
Right.
will be like, Qatar is like, I have everything. Still, why
So,
Dubai is means Dubai has a very good stature, correct? When we say Arab nations, in terms of ask people in India, will you go to Dubai? अरे जाऊंगा दुबई जाऊंगा मैं. Ask
yeah,
them, will you
agree.
go to Saudi Arabia? अरे पता नहीं.
God
Correct.
knows. Yeah.
Yeah. So Qatar, they want. This is the smallest. Again, Qatar is the smallest country in the world which have got the this thing, World Cup host invitation.
Right. It's
So they
very
want to
alarming.
increase their tourism. They want to. make their image makeover. That's why Qatar is doing it, I guess. I don't know. I guess.
So yeah, so then now in lines with that, if you see the World Cup after that, that's going to be a joint between US, Mexico, and Canada.
Yes,
I don't think that that would be having that bad an impact on either of them. In fact, the way I see it, might be that this will actually work in their favor because firstly
infrastructure.
the infrastructure burden, the entire infrastructure burden does not fall on any one state.
Yes, yes, that is the case. And in any case, this is a different thing. These guys, they have got this invitation at the when they are at the bottom of they are just bottoming out. Correct. They are not
Right,
at the
right.
peak. They are
Hmm.
bottoming out. We may see World Cup happening in the country when they are near peak of
At their
their
peak.
economic growth.
Oh, yeah,
That can
that's true.
happen. At that time also, it may be a bad thing. People will again say that because of that economy has been tumbled. This is just
A
a
cyclical observation.
cyclic, maybe, don't know, but it's too far. It's too far, correct? 26 is too
Yeah.
far. We don't know what's going to happen between that.
Yeah,
Yes.
true, true.
Oh, that's
So,
it then.
yeah, that's it. So basically, what we did today, guys, was that we tried to discuss the various arguments that comes forth in favor of countries organizing World Cups, and we tried to bring points which are against them. Few
Correct.
of them being boosting tourisms. Then we spoke about jobs, business opportunities, uh, infrastructural development, building legacy of the stadiums and sports infrastructure that they have created. Then we spoke about the corruption that takes place. We spoke about a few other World Cups. And you want to add anything, Rahul?
Yes, we spoke about Russia. We spoke about
Of course.
economic cycle, and why they take the prestige issues, okay,
Right,
psychological, diplomatic issues, why they take World Cup,
right.
timing of the World Cup, timing of the bid. We talk about that.
Yeah, so it's been quite a expanded discussion actually.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, okay then, guys. That's it from our side, correct, Janak?
Pardon?
That's it from our side.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. Now we can end today's session.
Yes, and if you have any comment, okay, if you have any suggestion, please reach us. Comment box is there. Apart from that, if you are from any organization, be it corporate, if you are from any school, college, and if you want to collaborate with us in any sense, okay, any sense, office
Yeah,
number are is there on our website. Okay, feel free to call us.
themoneyroller.com.
Yes, and yes, please encourage us because we like this kind of
Discussions and
information,
in
knowledge, discussion, sharing platform. Okay,
yeah, we love
so please
mining
give
this
your
information and
feedbacks.
giving out to you guys. And we would love your feedback in the comment section below.
Yes, or if you have a very means improvement pointers, please
Yeah,
reach us on the mail. We will like to have a one-on-one discussion because we want to improve this. Okay,
yeah,
Be-
of course, of course.
that this has a very good headroom about this entire concept has a very good headroom to improve. We
Yeah,
will be
so
there.
there is a room for improvement. No, there's a stadium for improvement.
Stadium for improvement.
Yeah.
Legacy stadium. Let's take one legacy stadium for us from Russia. Very bad joke. At this point, I think we should leave.
Yeah, we
Thank you
should
very much.
now. Yeah,
Enjoy your today's match, guys.
enjoy today's
Go
match.
Belgium. Bye.
Yeah, Belgium, Belgium.
Belgium. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you.